What's up, everybody? Welcome to another monthly ranking video where I rank every movie that I watch for the first time of each month. I am doing October 2024 now. So yeah, and okay, a couple things I want to say. First of all, I know the quality sucks right now. As you can tell, I'm in my garage and it's nighttime. It barely looks better during the day, but it doesn't look great in here, honestly, either way. But, you know, then again, this is October. This is actually November as I'm recording this now, but you know that the theme of the video is October movies, and most of these are horror movies. So, like, this side of the room being kind of dark, I guess it kind of works in its favor. So, yeah. But those of y'all who are subscribed to me, should be used to my poor quality of videos. So, yeah. But or else why are you watching my channel? If you don't, you must not care. Anyways, so yeah, all the first watches of October 2024 ranked. I have only watched 5 movies this month. Yeah, I was very lazy this month, and I only got to watch 5. And most of these, like I said, are horror films. However, my number one is not a horror film. So yeah, fuck horror. No, I'm kidding. No, I just my number one I just happen to like better than all these others. My number two is kind of a horror, but it's an animated horror film. So yeah, we'll get to that. And then the rest of these are like the first 3 I'll talk about are just pure straight up pretty much horror. I think 2 of them are kind of comedy horrors. Maybe even my number 5 too, if you look at it, because you can look at it as a comedy horror in some ways. But anyways, so yeah, and also I want to say I enjoyed all of these movies, including my number 5. And my number 5 might make some of you mad because it's the most popular movie on this ranking, but that doesn't mean I didn't like it. I did. I just like these others better. Like from 5 to 3, I gave those a 7 out of 10. And then my number 1 and 2, I gave them both a 9 out of 10. I loved those movies. And the others I enjoyed very much. So just keep all that in mind, personal opinions. So yeah. So I don't know how long this video is going to be. I mean, it has maybe at least 20 minutes, but that'd be cool if it's less than that. But you know me, I won't shut up. So, all right. So all that out of the way, let's go ahead and get started with my number 5. Let me get a drink of Sprite real quick. This video is sponsored by Sprite and KFC. No, not really, but yeah. Anyways, all right. Let's go ahead and get started. All right. So coming in at number 5. So, like I said, a lot of you might get mad that this is the lowest one. And some of y'all, hopefully you won't get mad, but some of y'all might be like, what? You haven't seen that before? Yeah, this is another one of those movies that will make you say, what took you so long? Because I know I should have watched this a long time ago. Look, I'm pretty much just now getting into horror films, so yeah, that's basically why it took me so long. But anyways, my number 5 is a very popular horror movie that I should have watched a long time ago, but didn't. And there's a lot other popular horror films that I still haven't seen, but number 5 is A Nightmare on Elm Street. Yeah, no, over here is better. Yeah, the original Nightmare on Elm Street. That's right. Yeah, I know what took me so long. Again, just just now getting into horror films. And this one, I don't know. I don't know what took me so long with this one, because I actually did want to watch this for the longest time. Especially whenever I started to watch some cheesy horror films that are still enjoyable, like the original It and Children of the Corn and Leprechaun, which is really ridiculous. Also, movies like Killer Clowns from Outer Space, even The Lost Boys, which some might crucify me for that, but I think even that movie's pretty corny. But yeah, and this one's pretty cheesy too, and I gotta say, I enjoyed it. I enjoyed it very much. I mean, of course, Freddy Krueger is iconic. Who doesn't know Freddy Krueger? Come on, he's a great villain. I want to give a shout out to Heather Langenkamp, who plays Nancy, the protagonist. She did a fantastic job in this movie. She's actually really good in this film. And yeah, I liked the character of Nancy. She was really cool, and yeah, great protagonist. And also a certain famous actor in this movie. He's kind of famous. I don't know. Maybe you've heard of him. His name is Johnny Depp. No, Johnny Depp. No. Okay. Not Ed Wood. Not Fear and Loathing, Las Vegas. Hell, not even Pirates of the Caribbean. No bells. Okay. But yeah, Johnny Depp. For his very first movie, and he's not great in this movie, but I think he's fine for the material, for what he has. He's okay. Yeah, he wasn't bad. I didn't think the mom was very good though. I don't know. She just felt off to me, and the dad was okay, I guess. But of course, Robert Englund as Freddy Krueger, yeah, fantastic. Even Leprechaun, which I mentioned earlier, which is a really stupid movie, you can't deny that the antagonist in that movie, played by Warwick Davis, you can't say that Warwick Davis wasn't amazing as the Leprechaun. I mean, come on. Yeah, that movie's not a great movie, but he makes it good. So yeah, and whatever you think about this movie, you have to admit Freddy Krueger. Come on. I am curious about the sequels. I hear most of them were pretty bad. I think I've heard Dream Warriors, the third one, and New Nightmare. I think I heard that those are decent, but this one, which this was of course directed by Wes Craven, who is a very good horror director. Now, the only other Wes Craven film I've ever seen is actually The People Under the Stairs, which me and Kay did for Your Cousins Are Critics. That's right, I have not seen Scream. I know, I have not seen any of the Scream movies. However, I've seen most of the scary movies, which I know the first one parodied Scream, so. But yeah, I know, I need to watch Scream. That's another horror movie I haven't seen yet. I haven't seen Friday the 13th either, and I haven't seen any of the Chucky movies. I think I saw parts of the first one of Child's Play, just the last part, maybe. But yeah, I know, I need to watch those. There's probably many more I need to watch. But, for the last few years, that's really whenever I started getting into horror. It's still not my favorite genre, which will explain why my number one is my number one, because it is part of a few genres I love, so that I like even more than horror. But, I did try to watch mostly horror, and I did for the most part. So, okay, so yeah, that's the first one. Number 5 is Nightmare on Elm Street. Okay, now coming in at number 4, this is the most recent one out of the 5 I watched. Not the most recent film, but the most that came out, but the most recent movie that I watched. In fact, I watched this on Halloween night, and I'm recording this on November 1st, which when this video comes out, it should be November 2nd. But excuse me. But yeah, this is what I watched on Halloween night, and it's kind of a weird one. But my number 4 is the Texas Chainsaw Massacre 2. Yes. Now, I have seen the first one a long time ago, and that was even before. I think I was trying to get into horror, but that was whenever I wasn't that into horror. I think I liked a handful of horror films, but not like. A lot of horror movies I didn't like, and that one I didn't think much of it. I do want to revisit it actually because it is like it's an independent film, and like of what clips I've seen from the film and kind of what I remember, I might like it. We'll see. I mean, I know there's some bad acting in that one, but the cinematography I thought was pretty interesting looking. So yeah. But anyways, yeah, Texas Chainsaw Massacre 2. So this movie was very ridiculous. Nightmare is a little bit ridiculous. Don't at me. This one is very ridiculous. But I enjoyed it. And I had more fun with this one than Nightmare. So, yeah. So what made me want to watch this movie was that one time my sister-in-law was playing this on the TV in the living room, and I was in the kitchen, and my brother was in there watching it with her. I was in the kitchen, and then all of a sudden, I hear something very familiar. See, I am a big Primus fan, the band Primus. Yeah, I know, Primus sucks. Yes, they do. If you know, you know. But Primus... if you know the song, Jerry Was a Race Car Driver, all of a sudden, I hear something familiar. I hear, Dog Will Hunt, and I'm like, wait, what? I'm like, that's from that movie? Like, I even said that out loud to them. And, yeah. So whenever I found out that Dog Will Hunt came from this movie, I was like, yes, I gotta watch it. And also, I did actually see parts of it, and I saw Dennis Hopper with a chainsaw. I'm like, yeah, I gotta watch this movie. I love Dennis Hopper, so yeah. But yeah, and I finally did, and yeah, it's so dumb, but it's pretty awesome. Yeah, the main, like, all the bad guys in this movie, of course, Leatherface, but the others as well. I thought Leatherface was pretty good. They actually kind of gave him a human side in this movie because he was attracted to the main girl in this movie. But I don't know. I kind of liked that a little bit, and it was interesting to see. It's been done before, but I think even after. But yeah, but yeah, that was cool. The main villain, who was very crazy. He was just like this crazy old dude. He didn't really look he kind of did, but he looked a little more normal than the others. But he was like supposed to be Leatherface's dad, I guess. And then his brother, who was brilliantly played by Bill Moseley, who I'll get to in the next movie as well because he's in that one too. Bill Moseley, which by the way was the guy who said Dog Will Hunt. Yeah, that was him. But he was my favorite part of this movie as just the Leatherface's brother, who was just insane, and he had like a metal plate in his head, and like he was just crazy. But he played that part very well. Like, wow. And also there's the old grandpa who was really creepy, but hats off to that actor. The close-up shots of him with the hammer, that actually scared me. I'm not going to lie. That actually terrified me. Or it creeped me out at least. But yeah, they were all fantastic. Dennis Hopper was great too. He was very over the top and funny, but yeah, Dennis Hopper is such a great over the top actor. Just, yeah, rest in peace to him. And also a shout out to the protagonist, Stretch, who is the radio DJ. She's the protagonist. Caroline Williams plays her, and fantastic. She was great. I really enjoyed her in this film. And and I gotta say, that ending kind of caught me off guard. Like, that was a crazy ending. The final shot is insane. If you know, you know. But yeah, this one was more of a comedy, I will say. Like, I think the comedy was intentional, so that's cool. So yeah, and it's very gory too. The practical effects were done by Tom Savini, so there we go. He does a great job with that kind of stuff. But yeah, I enjoyed this movie. I thought it was really fun, and it's dumb, but it's great dumb horror fun. You know, if you're into that kind of horror, just the really ridiculous but entertaining horror, this is one I highly recommend. The first one I think was somewhat, but it was a lot more darker or more serious. This one had more of a comedic edge to it, and it was really funny. So yeah, Texas Chainsaw Massacre 2. That is my number 4. All right, get another drink. Okay. All right, and now coming at number 3, we have another movie starring Bill Moseley. And this is this was, I believe, the directorial debut by Rob Zombie. And the only other Rob Zombie movie I've seen was his take on Halloween, which I halfway enjoyed it. Like, I liked the first half of it, but the second half I wasn't into. But I actually did enjoy this one. I feel like I have this as a 7 right now, but I feel like on rewatch, I'll probably like it even more. I don't know about a 9, but at least in the high 8, because I had a really good time with this one. I don't know how his other movies, how I'm going to feel about them, and I know a lot of people don't like Rob Zombie because they're just too much, you know. But it's one of the movies I have for this collection. I got this in a mystery bag that I got from Vintage Stock. It was in, I think, the first video I did. I did that one with Cade, so check that one out. But it's one of the 2 movies out of this. That's his debut, House of a Thousand Corpses. Okay, so first of all, I want to give a little backstory. I had one thing that I knew about this film. I knew about the character. I don't know if you can see him real well, but that Captain Spaulding, is that his name? Yeah, Captain Spaulding, the clown. I didn't know about this character because I'm going to give a little backstory. But one time, this was a few years ago. This was I know it was after I graduated high school. I think Cade was still in high school. It was me and Cade and a friend of ours, and also Cade's mom and a cousin of ours and stuff. You know, it was just like a family thing. But we also brought a friend of ours with us. We went to this place in I can't think. Is it in Oklahoma City? It might be. I don't know. But this, amusement park, and this amusement park, and it was during Halloween time, and there was a person that was there that was dressed as Captain Spaulding. At the time I had no idea who that was. I don't think I've seen any Rob Zombie movies. I was a fan of Rob Zombie's music during the time, but I never seen any of his films during that time. And there's this guy dressed as Captain Spaulding. I don't know if he had the full costume, but he did have the makeup, and he was like fully in character too, and he was quoting Captain Spaulding. Like, there's a certain quote in this movie. He's like, what does he say? He says, like, fuck your mom, fuck your sister, fuck your grandma, and most importantly, fuck you. Like, he said that. He also said, which he did. I don't. I didn't hear him say it in this movie, but he also said "tutti fucking fruity," and and that made me laugh really hard. Maybe he might say it in Devil's Rejects because I know that one has him and also Otis and Baby in it. But and it's in this collection. Haven't seen that one yet, but I am looking forward to watching it after seeing this movie. But maybe in that one he says it. I don't know, but yeah, he was quoting and he was just so entertaining. I loved that guy, and that made me want to watch these movies after that. And I will say, on the DVD, the menu is actually Captain Spaulding. He goes up there and he talks to you. I love it when DVD menus do this. Whenever they're like very meta, like the Spinal Tap menu is very entertaining. But he goes up to he goes, well, shit the bed, look who it is, something like that. He's like, welcome to the movie, and then like he's just saying, go ahead, pick your selection and stuff. I was watching this before I watched the movie. Was just him on screen, just looking at you, and he gets kind of frustrated, and he's like, all right, fine, just wait, just like take your time, stuff like that. And then there's a part where he like looks at a porno mag and stuff, and it's just really funny. It was a very entertaining. It went on for about like 5 minutes, I think, but it was very entertaining. I watched that before the movie, and I was like, okay, I think I'm gonna love this. And yeah, the movie itself, I enjoyed it very much. Yeah, Sid Haig, who plays Captain Spaulding. Shout out to him. Shout out to Bill Moseley again, who plays Otis. And he wasn't as crazy as he was in Texas Chainsaw Massacre 2, but he's still, I mean, they're all crazy. And shout out to Sherry Moon Zombie, who's Rob Zombie's wife, and she played Baby. And also Karen Black, who I knew from what was it, Easy Rider, but she's in this too, and she plays Mother, and everyone else, all those crazy people in this film who are, well, spoilers, but it's kind of expected. They're killers, of course, but yeah. Also, Rainn Wilson's in this movie, which is kind of weird to see, and he even has the fucking Dwight glasses, so, so he wasn't Dwight, which, good, because I'm not a Dwight fan. Sorry, Office fans. I like The Office, I just don't care for Dwight. I know, hot take. Anyways, though, he was good, and is it Chris Hardwick as well, and then the actresses who played like their wives, I guess, but they were very good too, and for this kind of film. Oh yeah, Walton Goggins was in this movie. I forgot about that. He was a deputy in this film. Yeah, that was interesting. And also the very first scene, like whenever I first saw the very first scene, it right away gave me Tarantino and Robert Rodriguez vibes. Like it reminded me of the intro, the opening scene to From Dusk Till Dawn. So I was like, yeah, I think I'm gonna like this movie, and yeah, I did. I will say though, fuck you, Rob Zombie, for making the movie end the way it did, because that was a big fuck you ending. I won't spoil, but if you've seen the movie, maybe you know what I'm talking about. Shit, I almost wanted to say something, but it might spoil the film, so never mind. But, I mean, it's over 20 years, but still, in case you haven't seen it. But yeah, and this one's supposed to be a little comedic too, and it was pretty funny. It was pretty funny, and it was very entertaining. Not as gory as I thought it was gonna be, but I mean, it was still gory, but but I don't know. I haven't really been just too disturbed by like gory movies, at least not yet. But I haven't seen any of Eli Roth's films or the goriest Rob Zombie films themselves yet. So we'll see. But no, the gore in this one didn't bother me. It was all right. And I will, okay, one more thing I will say. Texas Chainsaw Massacre 2, and maybe even the first one as well, they were definitely big influences on this film. Because I saw this one before I saw Texas Chainsaw Massacre 2, and whenever I was watching that last night, I was like, I see so much of House of a Thousand Corpses in this. I mean, they got it from that movie, so yeah. But, I mean, and also based on what I remember from the first movie, I was kind of getting those vibes whenever I watched this, so yeah. But anyways, House of a Thousand Corpses was very entertaining. It was kind of dumb too, but this one was very clever at like the ridiculous horror stuff, you know? And yeah, I enjoyed it very much. So yeah, House of a Thousand Corpses, that is my number 3. All right. All right. So now we're in the top 2, and I already said that I gave both of these movies a 9 out of 10. Both of these movies, especially this one, I was so surprised I loved them. I wasn't expecting to love this movie, nor the other one. I thought I would maybe like the other one, but I wasn't entirely sure about this one just because it didn't do very well when it came out. I don't think I've heard like bad things about it, but to me it felt like it was just a forgotten movie. But I have to say, this is an underrated, not masterpiece, but an underrated animated film that you need to watch. So, my number 2, this was directed by Henry Selick, who, yes, that Henry Selick, the guy who directed Nightmare Before Christmas, yeah, that wasn't Tim Burton, by the way, it was Henry Selick. He directed Nightmare Before Christmas and Coraline, as well as James and the Giant Peach and this movie with Brendan Fraser called Monkey Bone. But, yeah, I'm working on a ranking for him. So I stumbled upon this movie. This is his latest film that just came out in a couple years ago, 2022. It's on Netflix, so check it out. That is Wendell and... hold on. Okay, Wendell and Wild. Yeah, not the best quality, but yeah, Wendell and Wild. Yeah, I wasn't entirely sure about this one. I thought maybe it would just be okay at best or decent, you know? But by the end of it, I was pleasantly surprised. I loved Wendell and Wild. So yeah, this movie it stars Key and Peele. Yeah, that's right. Keegan-Michael Key and Jordan Peele as the lead characters, Wendell and Wild, who are these demons. Okay, first let me explain a little bit of the story. So it's about this girl named Kat who lost her parents at a young age. And then she goes to this, as a teenager, she goes to this new boarding school. And in her dream, she stumbles across these two demons named Wendell and Wild. And they tell her that... You know, okay, so they want to like make a theme park for Earth. So they tell her, "Hey, you got to help us out. If you help us out, we'll help you out. Whatever you want." And she's like, "Well, can you bring my parents back from the dead?" And they're like, "Yeah, sure." And I think at that point they thought that they were lying at the time because they're like, we can't bring people back to that. And they're like, shh, and stuff like that. But then they find out that they can bring back people from the dead because they have like this cream that was actually, I think the devil, who by the way is their dad, and he is actually voiced by one of my favorite underrated actors. That's Ving Rhames. Yeah, But they still like his hair cream, and his hair cream actually brings people back from the dead. So yeah, and I guess that's basically all I can say without spoiling. But yeah, but yeah, so yeah, it has Key and Peele in it as well as like I said, Ving Rhames. It also has Angela Bassett in it and James Hong as well. And I think that's all the actors I know. I think it is. Yeah, I think so. But yeah. So so first of all, let me say the animation is great. The animation is very, very, very cool looking. Here's a little, I don't know if you can see it very well, probably not, but that's Wendell Wild right there. And I think it's a blend. Yeah. So, Henry Selick is mostly known for his stop motion. And I think it is stop motion, but I think there also might be a little bit of like CG as well. So it's like a blend between of CG and stop motion, but the characters are all stop motion. Maybe the backgrounds might be CG, I think, but the characters are definitely stop motion, and it looks great. It looks great. The story is great. I enjoyed the characters. Cat is a really good character, and Wendell Wild I liked. They could have easily been annoying characters. They might be for some people. I don't know. I guess it just depends on whether or not you think Key and Peele are annoying, because I think they're funny, but if you think Key and Peele are annoying, then you'll probably think Wendell Wild are annoying too, because they're basically Key and Peele. They basically are. But yeah, I really liked them and all the other characters. There was this one character that was a trans boy that she went to school with. It was actually a girls' school, but this trans boy, still goes there because no one thinks that he's a boy, But he was very good. I liked him a lot, and there was even this girl character too, who I didn't really like at first, but she did grow on me, and she actually became a pretty good character. And yeah, her parents were cool, and so yeah, that was really cool, and the music was great. The score was good, but also the soundtrack was fucking awesome. So they had okay, first of all, you can even tell that there is like a love of music in this movie, because Kat carries a boombox around her and she's blasting X-Ray Spex, a pretty cool like 80s like, I don't know if they're new wave, but something like that. A really cool band I need to listen to more, but yeah, there's X-Ray Spex. Her dad was wearing a Fishbone shirt, which I think there's a Fishbone song. I think it's a Bonin' in the Boneyard. I think that might have been in it. There was a character that was wearing a Link Ray shirt, which I thought was pretty interesting. And then you had songs like you had Cults of Personality by Living Colour, which I know that's kind of an overplayed song. I think it's good. I like that song, and I love Living Colour. They're a great band. I saw them live actually a couple years ago. They were amazing. I forget what else. I mean, there's one I remember for sure, but I'm trying to think of anything else before I say that one. I can't remember, but one song by a band I love that I was so happy that they put in this was Freaking Out by Death. And that is Death, the punk band, not the metal band. Yeah. I mean, I think they're pretty popular now, but for a long time I think they were kind of influential maybe to some bands, but they weren't very known yet until like 2009, when they finally decided to release an album that they recorded back in 1975. A great album too, For the Whole World to See. Oh man, that album's so fucking good. If you love punk rock, check that album. Check out Death, but check out that album in particular, For the Whole World to See. Amazing. That song Freaking Out is on there, and yeah, that's one of my favorites by them. I kind of want to cover that song maybe with my band. We'll see. But but yeah, I was so happy to hear that song. And yeah, so yeah, really, really awesome soundtrack and a really good movie that I highly recommend. If you love animated films, check this one out. And if you like Henry Selick but haven't seen this one, like Nightmare Before Christmas and or Coraline or even James the Giant Peach, check this one out. It's great. It's even my favorite Henry Selick movie right now. Yes, even better than, because I did go back and rewatch Nightmare and Coraline, and they're good movies. Don't get me wrong, but I personally like this one better. So yeah, Wendell and Wild, awesome movie. Check it out. That is my number 2. All right, so this is almost 40 minutes. I'm sorry. But my number 1. So now, my number 1, like I said, it's not a horror film. This is actually a romantic comedy slash just comedy in general. And it's like a very awkward comedy too. Kind of like in the same vein of like, say, Napoleon Dynamite or even Wes Anderson's older films like Rushmore or something like that, Royal Tenenbaums. This is the directorial debut by a pretty critically acclaimed director nowadays. Hopefully I'll say his name right. Taika Waititi? Is it Taika Waititi? Yeah. It's such a weird name. I don't want to make it sound weird. I like to call him Taika Waititi. But yeah, Star Wars reference. But yeah, this is the directorial debut by Taika Waititi. And the only other film of his I've seen was Hunts for the Wilder People, which I did talk about that in a different what was it? A different monthly ranking video. Actually, I think it was the last one, wasn't it? I think it was the one for August. So, or not, no, September. My mistake. But anyways, his directorial debut, that's Eagle and Shark. Yeah. This was the only thing I knew about this movie, and that it was directed by Taika Waititi. But I just saw this poster, and I think I even saw a picture of them dressed like that. Whenever I think I saw a picture of them dressed like that in an issue of Entertainment Weekly as a kid, because my mom used to collect Entertainment Weekly. She used to get those Entertainment Weekly and People magazines, and I look at them too. And anyways, I think that's where I first saw this was a picture of that in an Entertainment Weekly, and I'm like, oh, that's weird. It's called Eagle vs. Shark, and it has these two people dressed as an eagle and a shark. And I'm like, weird. Like, what is that all about? Well, let me just say that's not really. That is just barely in the movie. Like, these people, they're not dressed like that throughout the film. Let me say that. So they are kind of weirdos, but they're not like that. That was just like in one scene, well, actually 2 scenes, and yeah, but no, this is a rom-com about these 2 weird, awkward people. I think the guy is even more weird than the girl. The girl is just a little socially awkward, but she's very nice and whatnot. Very sweet character. I really liked her. And the guy, so the girl is Lily, and the guy, who is actually played by Jermaine Clement, who I do know that actor. I have heard of him. He's done some stuff with Taika Waititi as well. Like, I think they did. I think he co-directed. What was it? What was it? What We Do in the Shadows with Taika Waititi, which I haven't seen that yet. I can't even find that movie. I need to. But yeah. He plays Jared, or Jared. Jared. That's his name. and he's a really weird dude. I mean, he doesn't. They both kind of talk, very softly, So they're both socially awkward, but she's not that weird. Like she might come across a little weird whenever you first meet her, but she really isn't. At least not like, weird like Jared is. Jared is such a strange character, and he also is holding a grudge against like his old arch enemy, this kid that used to bully him in school. He's like trying to find a way to fight him. And he's like, I don't know, 30 years old, maybe late 20s. I don't know, but it's kind of funny. And and yeah, he was a funny character. I did enjoy him. Yeah, like at first I wasn't sure about him, but he grew on me, and he was a really funny character. Lily, I loved Lily. She was very sweet, adorable, even beautiful. I thought the actress, Lauren Taylor, she's a good looking woman. So yeah, but yeah, I really liked her character a lot. She was just great. And yeah, and he is a weirdo, but I enjoyed him. And yeah, and I thought their chemistry, well, it's kind of awkward, but their relationship is kind of cute, honestly. I don't want to say anything else really, because I don't want to spoil anything. This is just a movie you need to watch. I almost want to say going in blind, but I did say some stuff. But I didn't spoil anything, so that's So yeah, but just watch this movie. It's on Prime. That's where I saw it. It's also on, I think, Pluto and maybe Tubi as well. So yeah, check it out. I really enjoyed it. It's not for everybody. If you like weird, awkward humor like Napoleon Dynamite, then check this one out. But if you're just like a normal, you like quote unquote normal rom-coms, then yeah, this might not be for you. You might not like these characters that much. You might think they're just weird, which they are, especially him. But I don't know. This movie worked for me. It was funny. It was cute. I loved it. I had a very good time watching this film. Also, it does have some really cool animated sequences too, which is also stop motion. Back to Henry Selick kind of, except he didn't do the stop motion, but I thought that was a very interesting choice. Just you could tell that this is just a low budget, just an art house rom-com. So yeah, but yeah, some really cool stop motion animated scenes in the film. It starts out that way. The opening credits are in stop motion, and that's pretty cool. But yeah, I really enjoyed Eagle versus Shark, and that is my number one favorite movie that I watched in October of 2024. Best horror movie ever. Yeah. All right, there we go. There is my ranking for all the first watches of October 2024. So, in the comments, give me your opinions on any of these films that you have seen. Tell me your thoughts and which ones are your favorites on here, and yeah, all that stuff. And also, what did you watch of this month in October 2024? So yeah. All right, so please like, subscribe, comment, share, hit the bell. And I'll see you guys sometime. Still currently working on my top 100 favorite movies update. I only recorded the first 2 parts so far. I got 8 more. I'm thinking maybe late November, but definitely it should be in December. If not November, it should be in December. Hopefully mid-November, if anything, but we'll see. We'll see how things go. But yeah. Anyways, I'll see you guys later. All right. Peace.